Got it.
Good
All
morning, good
right.
evening, wherever you're listening to this podcast. I'm your host, Jess. Welcome to OK and the podcast, where we are bridging the gap between human isolation and connection. And I told y'all that we were going to have some visuals. And guess what? We got some visuals. Okay.
We got
We're
visuals.
downloading software. We're figuring things out in the background, making things work so that way y'all can see the emotions and just the reactions that we have when it comes to this podcast. Because there's could be tears. I know you guys hear the tears. I know you guys hear the laughter, but the ultimate connection between the person that's in front of us and the audience, that means the world to me. And this human being that we have right now is the epitome of I can do the things and I can do more things, and I'm not going to get pigeonholed into one thing. I think we've been rocking 15 years. How long has it been?
Since 2009. Met in fall of '08 when I got to Fullerton.
Mm-hmm.
And I just remember seeing two tall women in blue. And I was like, wow, y'all are tall.
Yep.
All right. Yeah, but y'all are cool. All right.
Mm-hmm.
And then, spring of '09 hit. I joined my fraternity, Phi Beta Sigma.
Mm-hmm.
And we've been brother, sister ever since.
Absolutely. So welcome y'all, DJ Dash, aka Damon, in the
Hey.
building. And I mean, just when I think about your journey and I think about the things that you have brought to the table, pivot, thought about this, okay, I'm going to do this and I'm going to be successful at it. And we talked about the expanding territory prayer throughout the years that we've known each other. And it's just been a huge blessing to see your journey, be a part of it, audience, background. I didn't feel like we missed a beat when, I left the state and then came back. Like
Came back.
came back. So it's been a huge honor just to see your growth. And I'm so proud of you.
Aw, thank you.
You're welcome. So let's get into it. I mean, thinking about your overall what am I trying to say? Your different avenues of what you find interest in. Walk me through. Let's go back to Fullerton days and
Okay.
you starting to become DJ Dash. Like, what was that experience like?
So that experience of becoming DJ Dash was very unexpected. Because how it even came about was me getting tired of having to drive from Orange County back to LA, which is like my home where I'm from. Me driving from Orange County to LA every weekend, every other weekend, just to go to a party. Because
Okay.
I didn't like coming to LA, like, being on the ratchet scene, and just having a different type of party atmosphere in LA, coming to Orange County and being surrounded by house music or being around other, DJs who were black, but playing like radio hip hop or
Mm-hmm.
like the hip hop or like the rap music, like the ratchet music that everybody knows, that's common, that's mainstream, like nothing that was really like underground. It wasn't really for me. So I'm not gonna say it sucked. It just wasn't for me.
Mm-hmm.
And so it just got to a point where I got tired of always driving back to LA. And whenever it dawned on me, like, okay, every time me and my roommates do have kickbacks, so I am in a space, I'm always the one that's offering to use my iPod. So I think I can DJ.
Mm-hmm.
Let's do this. And so I ended up calling my best friend, DJ TUA, also known as Tenny. Ended up calling him. We've always talked about music. I brought up DJing to him. He was into producing at the time, but he said that he was also into DJing. And then we ended up calling our other best friend, DJ Spoof, or Kenny.
Mm-hmm.
And we all three of us decided, hey, let's give DJing a shot, probably. And that's when my mentor at the time, DJ WizKid, was selling DJ equipment on AIM. It was in his away message. Dating all of us, right?
Oh, classic. Okay. So was it on a sidekick that you saw the away message?
It was on More than likely on the Sidekick. Yeah, because I had
Okay.
the Tony Hawk LX. Yep.
Okay.
I had the
Okay.
Tony
Okay.
Hawk LX back then.
Okay.
And so
Classic.
yeah, so I was selling DJ equipment. We went up there, tested it out, bought it. And then yeah, I remember that whole summer of '09, we was in Ladera at Tenny's parents' garage, sun up to sundown, just practicing, practicing, practicing. And I believe our first gig as the Three Stooges
Oh yeah.
was for the MPHC mixer at the pub at Fullerton. Our first gig.
Whoa. And that was 2009. So
That had to have been
that was like what, fall then?
fall. Yeah, fall of
Yeah.
'09. Yep. It was in the pub.
I did not realize that was your first gig.
First gig together as a group. My
Okay.
first now this was still me finding myself because this is the part of the story that I don't really get to, but in between that span of fall '09 to like fall of 2010, I believe, I wasn't that good. I wasn't the best stooge because I was in Fullerton, the other two were in LA. They had the equipment and they had the Mac and they had a MacBook out there. I didn't have a MacBook at the time. And
Gotcha.
so they were able to practice way, way more than I could because, on weekends, during the weekday, they would link up practice. Me, I'm a Sigma. I'm also DJing. I'm active on campus. I'm living college life. So I'm all over the place.
Right.
And then, it did get to a point where like it was obvious and apparent that like you could see the gap in skill level with DJing. And so I remember, I believe it was fall 2010. Financial aid hit. I was able to get grants.
Yep.
Team
Yep.
grants. I got me a MacBook Pro. I was able to get my own equipment and then started getting my own practice in. And I will never forget Charles Oglesby from Musei. He's now what, Todd Billion, I believe.
I think he's Todd Billion. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Todd Billion. Him and his line brothers threw a mansion party in Corona.
What's that?
Mansion party. I'm not sure. It was a mansion party in Corona.
That's a very unique time for me. But okay, keep going. That's it. Those are TUK infamous days. So yeah. All right.
Yes.
Party. Okay.
Mansion party, Corona. And his line brother Tokes ended up calling me the day of December 31st, asking if I was busy, if I had a gig. I said, no, I don't. He said, okay, we're having a mansion party. We need a DJ. Can you do it? I said, what? Yeah, wait, hold on. Yeah, I'm going to call the bros, see what's up, and then we're going to be there. He said, okay, cool. Call TUA, call Spoof. They already had plans. They couldn't do it. And I was like, dang. Okay, I got to go to Corona. I can make this bread. Or I can go to LA, turn it with the homies. I chose Corona. Called him. I said, hey, I can do it. We on. He said, all right, for sure. Here's the details. Cool. So I went to Radio Shack. Do Radio Shack still exist?
I don't think so. Maybe online. This is like you're taking it back. I'm like Radio Shack, AIM. Okay, keep going.
Yeah. So I went to Radio Shack, bought me a mic because that was the only like piece of equipment that I didn't have.
Okay.
Bought me a microphone. Went to Corona, and that was my first gig solo. My first solo gig from start to finish by myself. And when I say I killed it, rocked it. It was crazy. It went up all the way. And I'll never forget that moment after I killed that gig and I realized, okay, I can do this by myself and I can do it really well. I remember my New Year's resolution being to have my own gigs anywhere from like two to three gigs a month. That was a New Year's resolution. By March, April, I ended up averaging about like 2 gigs or so a week. I was DJing dang near weekly. And then it just went up and up and up and up from there. From college parties to holiday events to weddings to birthday parties, baby showers. I've even DJ'd, as a three, so we've even DJ'd at a funeral.
You did.
Let alone a repast. Like it's, yeah. it's been crazy. It's been a crazy journey, interesting journey.
It's crazy that you said that because I remember when my dad passed and my sister and I went back and forth of she wanted to play something on Spotify. I'm like, no, I'm calling DJ Dash. Like, no, we're gonna have a DJ at my dad's celebration of life. Okay, we're gonna be there
Yeah.
and we're gonna do the ones and twos. It's a celebration, right?
I did.
You did.
Oh,
In Riverside.
yes.
Was it Riverside?
Yes.
Yeah,
And you had like the video montage playing and
we were all dressed in white because my grandmother was all dressed in white. So yeah, so you were there and it was just when you know that someone is able to read the room, whether you're doing a repast, a funeral, baby shower, wedding, like you've always been able to connect with your audience. Whether it's, in college and beyond. So I love the fact that you had this journey of being not even isolated, I want to say isolated, but knowing that the other two weren't able to attend and it was you. And I think God sets us up in those manners of, all right, it's my turn. It's my turn.
Yeah.
Let me go ahead and do this. Let me believe in what I'm doing. And you so which was dope. So after you go into doing the gigs, I remember there was your very first tour that you were able to go on. Talk to me about that first tour, because I know we got more coming, but what was the first tour like?
So the first tour, the first tour, I'm trying to think, because this tour that I just been on, it was like two types of tours, I feel like. But honestly, this last tour, October of this year, with Schoolyard Rap, touring for Latin Heritage Month with Soy Asombroso. It felt like I was supposed to be there.
How did you get connected with the organization?
So the CEO and founder, Brandon Brown, we were actually connected through a mutual friend of ours.
Okay.
And with him, so basically what happened, I'll start from the beginning. So basically what happened, I'm at the house, I'm chilling. This is what year in 2023? So this was 2022, fall of 2022. I was living. Dang, was it fall 2022? No, this was fall of 2021. Okay, I got a timeline.
Lockdown in 2021. Okay.
Yes. So yeah. Okay. Yeah. So 2020, COVID happened at my mom's house. 2021 January, I moved to Culver City. Go through a whole healing journey. That winter, of 2021. I get a hit up. Yeah, in November, I get a hit up from Jonathan, and he said, "Hey, I have a friend who needs a DJ. They got to have experience with video DJing. Are you able to take the gig? It's next week." And I said, "Well, I told him, I said, I've never video DJ before. I never used to route a video, but because I DJ for so long, it's nothing but a word." And he said, "So can you do it? Yes or no?" And I'm like, all right. Could say, nah, I don't feel comfortable doing it because it's a whole artist and he has a show in front of kids. I don't want to mess up the show. Right. But I was like, all right, yes, I can do it. Let's do it. And so he connected me and Brandon. Me and Brandon spoke briefly. It's leading up to the week of the show. We have a Zoom call we're supposed to go over the tracks, everything. We end up just talking amongst each other. Don't go over no music, no nothing. The night before the show, I drive. It was an elementary school in Victorville. I end up driving out there the night before, checking to my hotel. Boom, I get the music. I'm like, oh, okay. Set the cue points. That's it. I have to write a video. Get a little bit of practice in. That's it. Day of the show, we do the show together. Rock it. We performed as if we've been performing together for a while. The chemistry, energy was great. And he liked it. I liked it. Business was good.
Mhm.
And come December, by this time December, but in December, he hits me up again, say, "Hey, I like the energy. I just want to let you know that we're going, that I'm going on tour next year. I'm going to be, traveling different states, going to different schools, and I want you on the team." I said, "What? Okay, yeah, cool. I'm down. I'm in." They said, "Okay, I'll contact you in January, let you know the details." Boom. I hang up. I say, "Perfect. Thank you." Now, when he said that,
Mhm.
I was grateful. I was happy, but I didn't get my hopes up. Because people say things and it's just like
Right.
things don't fall through. So I took it with a grain of salt. But I was like, okay, this is dope if it happens. So January hits. We're in January 2022.
Mhm.
I'm enrolled at Musicians Institute to pursue engineering. Um, I my first week there, I end up enrolling in Musicians Institute, and I end up getting a job as a research analyst.
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
both are two things that I had like written out and planned and journaled as goals, right? And doing those two, I get a hit up from them. I do that. Then next thing you know, I get a call from Brandon saying that, "Hey, what's your flight information?" I said, "Huh? What's your flight information? We got a show in Connecticut coming up. You still interested?" I said, "Connecticut, let's go."
Wow.
So
Okay.
yeah. So we ended up doing Connecticut. I remember being in Connecticut and interviewing for my job position. Like moments before our show, I ended up having an interview, kill the interview, um, and then do the show, come back for school. I ended up missing some classes, had to make up for classes. And after Washington, I ended up doing shows in February, ended up having shows in Palm Springs. And I remember my first day, not Palm Springs, Palmdale.
Okay.
Uh, I remember driving up to Palmdale while having my orientation for work. Yes, yes, February, the week of President's Day weekend. And I'm just like, yo, this is real life. And from February 2022 to October 2022, I ended up both touring, DJing for Schoolyard Rap, school after school after school, while juggling a full-time job as a research analyst for a industrial real estate company. Um, yeah, and that was that tour life. Um, is this the part where I segue to where I had to go to the hospital? Then I was met with a fork in the road and having to choose between the two, or
Yeah. I mean, well, yes, I would love to go there.
okay.
There's this other thing that you were able to accomplish during DJing, and that was going to school after Fullerton. And I when you told me that you were interested, and I was like, okay, this is actually pretty dope. Like, you're, because most people are like, oh, I'm gonna DJ full time. I'm not gonna go pursue my master's degree too. And you did that. What made you, what was the ultimate choice to do that and still continue to DJ?
To be honest, I wanted to get my master's degree out the way early while I was still in my 20s and
Mm.
young, and still in the mindset to learn and be in an educational environment.
Yeah.
And I did not want to be in my 30s, 40s, 50s with the family, or with the family, full-time job, all these responsibilities, and then having to go into grad school and having to become a student all over again.
Yeah.
I just wanted to get out the way early so I wouldn't have to worry about it later on. That's it. Or who knows, DJing taken off, and I literally now have no point or need for a master's degree.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's
So,
interesting that, go ahead, go ahead. There's a point, but I'm about to forget the point. So go ahead, because I
oh,
know
what's the point? What's the point? What's the point?
it's interesting that we have this trajectory of, okay, so now that we're done with our bachelor's, in my experience, it was I need to go and get my doctorate because no one else in my family has a doctorate degree.
Hmm.
And constant, now it's, you have this amount of debt. What are you using your math? I mean, I am using some aspects of it, But if I
Mhm.
can do, and again, no regrets. If I had the opportunity to do it over again, I don't think I would have went for my master's. I mean, bachelor wise, I probably, but I would have paired it with something that would have ignited my creativity more than
Mhm.
what I had. Um, but again, you do what you do, but it's just so interesting that half of the stuff that we learned,
Yeah.
it it's obsolete.
It is. It is. Well, interestingly enough, um, because for me too, I went to I also got my master's degree on a gamble because the job I was at the time
Mhm.
was a startup company. And so I took it as an opportunity of, okay, let me get my master's degree
Mhm.
in management and leadership. Let me learn about emotional intelligence way before emotional intelligence was a thing,
True.
or a requirement at that. Let me learn all this stuff. And that way, as the company grows, I'll grow with the company and end up getting
Mm.
the executive, position, this, that, be the head of EQ, probably pivot into HR,
Mhm.
something, with my master's degree. And so that was the second catalyst. So me getting out the way early, and two, using it to move up with my company. And so once I got my master's degree, 6 months later, the company shut down.
Okay, I didn't know that. What?
Yes, the company closes
What
doors.
happened?
They lost one of their major funders. They lost one of their major source of funding, and the CEO, his word, said, rather than let the company bleed out, we're just gonna close its doors. And so that happened in the summer. Yeah, that was the summer of '07. No, summer 27. Either summer 2017. I think, yeah, summer 2017. 'Cause I got my master's in 2016, I believe. And so yeah, summer 2017. And then yeah, close the doors. Close his doors. I said, wow, I got this. Part of me said, "Dang, I got this master's degree for nothing."
Mm.
But yeah, but like the experiences, the people I met, and just like the things I learned along the way, like it's priceless. Like no one can take that, no one can take that away from me. And I have my master's degree. I got it out the way. I don't have to get it no more.
This is true.
So yeah, they closed his doors, and then I remember, yeah, went to the unemployment office that same day. And two, it was something that a lot of us saw happening anyway. A lot of us saw it coming,
Okay.
but none of us expected it to come that quickly. And so, yeah, so that happened, and then ended up just, okay, it's my chance to do DJing. So ended up doing DJing and doing real estate, because I always want to keep like a second source of income, and also just keep my habits of, okay, having to get up early, do this, do that, do this, do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So
That's crazy. I mean, and I wanted to keep that part of your story because oftentimes, I mean, you don't you the again, the things that are in your tool belt, you don't typically see when it comes to someone that is DJing. So it's such a unique story. But pivoting back to the fork in the road and being hospitalized. So what happened? What happened
all
there?
right, okay. So DJing. This was in August, late August. It was the week leading into Labor Day weekend. There we go. Because
Okay.
September's Labor Day weekend. So the week leading into Labor Day weekend, I would probably say, looking back at it, I was probably at the height or the tipping point of neglected stress of DJing for Schoolyard Rap, which was typically during the same hours of me working this full-time demanding job.
Mm-hmm.
And so, but you know me, like I don't wear my feelings or
Yeah.
emotions outwardly like that. It's like, okay, hey, we got this. We got this.
Mhm.
Everybody's how I'm feeling. I'm good. I'm feeling great. So I'm in the office on a Monday, working at the computer, and next thing you know, out of nowhere, my right eye, wow, it's random eye ache. And I was like, huh.
Was it
Okay, that's weird. That's
throbbing,
interesting.
pulsing? Like, how was it?
It was like pulsating.
Okay. Leia,
Yeah,
go ahead.
almost like I
Go ahead, Damon. She brought me a toy.
I oh hey. And
Okay.
like yeah, like almost like how you have like a headache and then you like feel like pressure behind your eye.
Mhm.
So it felt like that, and I'm just like, whoa, okay, this is weird. I'm probably dehydrated because that morning, like that morning, I didn't get that much sleep. I woke up early, still managed to go to the gym. Was out of pre-workout, so I drank like a espresso, like a Starbucks espresso or something like that
Okay.
for energy. Did my workout, came to work, had some black coffee, and ate there. I had like 1 or 2 cups of coffee, something. Okay, I'm dehydrated, doped up on caffeine, probably regular eye ache. Okay. Tuesday hit, same pain, and I was like, whoa, this is weird. Same pain happens. Um, Except this time I noticed that things started to get a little bit blurry at the bottom part. And I was like, wait, what is this? Okay, this is weird. I need to go to an optometrist.
Mm-hmm.
I'm thinking eye doctor. Okay. So I go to the optometrist. They prescribe. They say, okay, they say there's some inflammation in my right eye. Okay. Um, I said, okay, what can we do? Because I have to go to Fresno tomorrow, Wednesday, and DJ, and I need my eye to be better. So she prescribes me these eye drops. It's okay, take these eye drops. You should feel better. If not, let me know. I'm like, okay, cool. From Tuesday to Thursday, my vision the blurriness started going like this, slowly but surely closing in on my vision. And so by Friday, Thursday, Thursday, I call my time and say it's not working, vision is worse. Friday hit, by the time I get back to LA, wait, put your hand over your right eye.
Right eye. Yep.
Yeah. Now, what do you see out of your right eye?
Nothing.
That's what it was. That's what it was.
Did
Yep.
you have to drive back, or did someone drive back with you?
I drove back myself because I still have my left eye.
Yeah. Okay. Just knowing that. Okay. Keep going.
Yeah.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah. So Friday hit, and I'm not seeing anything. I'm like, oh, it's like black. I'm like, all right. Saturday, I'm going back to the optometrist, and so so I end up going to the optometrist, and she ended up sending me to UCLA because she said, okay, this is beyond me. You have to go see an ophthalmologist. You got to go to the ER. So we go to the ER at UCLA. Shout out to Katrina, by the way. Thank you, because she was one because by that time I couldn't see anything. So she drove me there, drove me to the optometrist, drove me to the hospital, took care, make sure like everything was straight until like, my mom and them came. So took me to UCLA, and they told me, this is where I was told that I had this disorder, this antibody disorder called MOG, which is like myelin. I forget the O, and the G is a long word as well. But it could be linked to MS, or multiple sclerosis. Yeah. So imagine me going to the hospital and they say, oh, you potentially might have MS. And I'm like, what? First time ever. I was shook. I was legit shook. Never. And I'm just like, wait, MS, like, this is what you see in the hospital. This is, this is like the type of sickness that you hear on commercials on TV, where they talk about the prescription drugs or MS, multiple sclerosis. Like, wait, I might have MS. Can't you? Like, all these thoughts just going in my head. And I was like, okay, breathe. They had to give me something to like calm me down. They can just see how like shook and nervous I was. And so we went through a lot of tests. It was a lot of blood work. Ended up having to get spinal fluid taken out. Long story less long, I was in the hospital for about 8 days, I think. 7 to 8 days.
Wow.
And thankfully I didn't have MS, but I had the other antibody disorder called MOG. And what it does is it basically, my white blood cells attacks my nervous system, and in my case, it attacked my the optic nerve in my eye, which cause optic neuritis, which is like severe inflammation in your optic nerve, which causes blurred vision. So thankfully, I was able to get my vision back, and they had me on like prednisone, this antibiotic called Bactrim, Pepcid, and I'm taking like when I'm out the hospital, I'm taking like 7-8 pills a day. And so mind you, this is somebody who doesn't do medicine, who's like, yeah, at all. Like, what are you talking about here? And so I'm on that, and come October, because I haven't been to work, haven't been able to really DJ. I get hit up by Grio. He asked me how I'm feeling. I'm like, you know what? I'm good. They got me on medicine, just managing my meds. We're good. I'm doing my push-ups. Prednisone's a steroid, so I'm back in the gym. They said I can resume physical activity.
Yeah.
So we good. So they said, okay, we have a tour October 3rd. Salinas, are you able to do it? I really need you. At the same time, October 3rd was the last day I had to check into work before they officially had to let me go. Primarily because they switched from PTO, from part-time off, from paid time off to flex time off.
Got it.
In which, yeah. So for the corporate folks, they know what that is. Flex time off, you get unlimited PTO, but you can only be out for so long before they had to let you go. So I had a choice to make. I said, ooh, I can either miss this day, get let go from my job, or I can like say, now I can't do the tour. I got to get back to work. I got stuff to catch up on. I'll catch you on the next one. So for me, I told myself, thought about it, prayed, meditated. I don't think I asked for anybody's like advice or anything like that. But what I came to the conclusion of, I said, you know what? I've gotten hired once as an analyst, and they looked for me. They reached out to me. I didn't reach out to them. They reached out to me. So I got hired as an analyst once. I crossed that goal off the checklist. I need to go on tour. This tour has been a goal of mine since forever.
Yeah.
I'll be okay. So I chose tour. I left the job behind. This is October 3rd of 2022. And here we are, December 7th, 2023. Still only DJing. And so, yeah, I've been only DJing since October 3rd of last year. And I'm proud to say that I was keeping track of the income I was making from January this year up until now. And as of today, I have tied with DJing. I have tied the yearly salary that I would have made at that one job with DJing.
That's amazing.
I've tied it.
That's amazing.
Yes.
So when there's so many moving parts, because you go on tour last year and then end up with a massive opportunity this year. And, thinking about the YouTube theater experience.
Yes.
And what that was like for you.
Yes.
I mean, can you walk me through when you got the phone call?
Shoot. Wow, this was in October. That was in October too.
Right, that's what I'm saying. Literally a year later from
wow
till now. Cool.
Wow.
Right.
Oh, I didn't even realize that.
Right.
Yeah. Shoot. Well, last year, October, it was for Latin Heritage Month, and me being part Dominican, I've been claiming my Dominican side way more in life lately.
I love it.
Me being part Dominican, like I was already excited for it, and Latin Heritage Month was lit. Like I thoroughly enjoyed it. I personally have fun because I like spinning Latin music. Like people don't really know this much, but I enjoy spinning Latin music. I love the music. I love the energy. I don't know what they be saying half the time, but
it's a vibe.
It's a vibe. It's a vibe nonetheless. Yep. So when I got the call saying, "Oh, you're gonna be on," I want you on the Soy and Sabroso tour. I'm like, yes, you will have nobody else. It's me. I'm on this tour. Put me on tour. I don't want nothing else. I don't want no schools. I don't want no nothing. Just put me on tour. And I remember just telling them that. I said, hey, you're putting me on tour. Got the call, said, yes, we on. And I remember and even going to YouTube Theater was a blessing, because like what some people don't know is that we've had to, during that month of October, we've had to actually cancel like 3 or 4 shows.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah. So like we didn't do Riverside. I don't think we did San Jose. I think it was supposed to be one show in San Francisco, maybe. Yeah, it was like 3 or 4 shows we had to cancel. And I'm just like, please keep YouTube Theater. Keep YouTube Theater.
Yeah.
And he ended up, the team, they had the sales team and everybody, Rio, they ended up closing the contract, got YouTube Theater. I said, we on. And I just remember getting there and just taking it all in and just being like, whoa. 1, this is my first time at YouTube Theater. 2, I didn't know that YouTube Theater was in SoFi. I thought it was its own separate thing. So technically, this is my first time at SoFi, and it's for DJing, which scratched another thing off my list, because I've always wanted to DJ in like a major state or a major city or country or a venue. And that me DJing there was also being my first time even there in the first place. Yeah, so I was like, oh, if I'm gonna be here because of DJing, not for fun. Yeah. And so that was another thing checked off my list. And then we had 2 shows at the YouTube Theater. The first one was the one that was like primarily for all the schools.
Okay.
And it was like, what was it? It was 6,000 kids there.
That's insane.
6,000 of them.
That's insane.
Yeah. And I'm just like, this is my biggest crowd ever. This is my biggest crowd. And they're all loving my set. And like it was a moment there when I had I played Peaches by Jack Black. That Peaches.
Yes.
Yeah. I played that song. I see everybody singing it, everybody's rocking with it. And that first chorus hit, I stopped the song. I said, wait. I had the house cut off all the lights. And I had all the kids take out their cell phone lights. And I said, take out your cell phone lights, take out your cell phone lights. And then I played the song. I said, when I played the song, everybody just waved their cell phones in the air. And I had all of them waving their cell phone lights, singing Peaches, Jack Black. And I'm just there, just directing the crowd. And just song after song after song, and just banger after banger after banger after banger. And just hyping the crowd up. And then after that, and mind you, I was just opening. That was an opening act. So 15, 20 minutes of that, 30 minutes of that, and then to have our show right after just killed it. I'm just like, wow, this is a dream come true. And after YouTube Theater, that Monday, October 30th, Halloween hit, boom, left eye ache. Already knew what it was. Wednesday, November 1st, checked myself into UCLA hospital. Thankfully, I only had to be there for 5 days. So I was in, got my steroid treatment, got out. They got me back on prednisone.
Okay.
Now, as of this week, I'm down just 2 prednisones a day. Plus, Bactrim, Pepcid, calcium pill, vitamin D. I'm on that, and they have me on a long-term treatment plan where once every 6 months I go in for a steroid IV to keep things like level, balanced, and everything like that. And so very good.
So you mentioned earlier that it was neglected stress. So was this something dormant? Like,
yeah. So MOGAD itself, it's something that they just discovered back in 2013, 2015. So it's still relatively new, and is commonly found in children. So
okay,
I'm up against something that's 1, new, and that's 2, that is uncommon in adults. Now, 2, at the same time, I am a child at heart, and I do feel I have a childlike spirit. So there's that as well. But yeah, when I mentioned neglected stress, is that in the midst of me DJing, and yes, there was. Oh, and I forgot to mention that during the summer in July, I had another episode in my left eye and I had to go back to the hospital for the same thing.
Okay.
So from September last year to now, I've been in the hospital 3 times for the same thing. Optic neuritis, one in my right eye, twice in my left eye.
Okay.
And basically it's all just been me just all gas, no brakes. Essentially me not taking that priority, taking me time and rest time as a priority. So that's what I mean by neglected stress. Just like, oh, I'll be okay. I'll be all right. I'm just pushing myself. I'm gonna wait till this is done. But then once this is done, yeah.
Okay. What steps are you taking now to have self-care?
From an internal standpoint, from internally, not feeling guilty of taking rest. Because I feel that's been the biggest part of me feeling guilty if I have a rest day, me feeling guilty if I don't have anything on my to-do list for the day, me feeling guilty for waking up late, me feeling guilty for, let me just take this day to let me play video games. So that's from an internal standpoint. Externally though, I've gotten back into meditation, gotten back into daily prayer, gotten back into reading, and really just taking the time to really like, okay, I'm going to rest. I'm going to do self-care. And yeah, that's what I've been doing right now currently.
I love that you're taking that time and expressing the side of self-awareness of I felt guilty because I was doing this for me, but knowing this is critical and necessary to do for you. Because oftentimes something will happen and they'll hit the gas harder. They'll hit the gas harder and end up, in a difficult situation that they can't recover from. So
yeah, and honestly, like it all goes back to your like faith and trust in God too, because since I've been out, have I been DJing less? Yes, but at the same time, the gigs that I've been getting has been required less labor and it's been paying me like more, if not as much. So, and it's all because I've been prioritizing rest and at the same time have faith. Like, okay, God got me. He's not just going to let me fall flat on my face and just going to leave me there.
No.
It's a reason why he wants me to rest. And I mean, it's funny how we feel guilty about taking a rest day when God rested.
He sure did.
He did. Like, he did what he had to do and he took a break. He said, what? This is good. All right. See y'all later.
Right.
So,
right. Yeah.
Yeah. So there's that. And then also, too, like rest is also part of the equation. Like when you work out, what they tell you do, take a rest day.
Yeah.
Give your muscles time to recover. So there's all these. So I don't get how I blame entrepreneur the entrepreneur world for this, because they talk about like, oh, this 24-hour grind, this 24/7 grind. Oh, you sleep when you're dead. Oh, while you're asleep, everybody else is up getting it. Oh, I wake up this early while everybody else, this toxic culture of just always being on the go. And you don't have to. You really don't. You don't have to.
You don't. I mean, if you would have asked me in my 20s about rest, I'm like, to your point, I'll sleep when I'm dead. I'll work 14 hours and then go try to comprehend what my professors are saying from 6 to 10 and then get up at 4:30 to be at work at 5. And it was literally like, when I look back at the things that we've done in our 20s, with no Adderall, with nothing else to like help, just natural, like, this is what we have to do, we have to get it done type of mentality. I could never go back to that mindset, because my body now, when I do business trips, constant business, I get sick. Like if I'm working constantly, my body just says no more. It literally shuts me down. I'm like, what are you doing? We got stuff to do. Put the B12 in the water. Let's go. But you have to listen to your body, because your body's going to tell you, you need to chill out. You need to sit down and we got to recover. We're going to do the things, but boundaries and making sure that you're able to say, not today. not today.
Yeah.
Because you have this going on. And there's been times where, I've had to move podcasts around because I wasn't mentally prepared to talk. And
Mm-hmm.
thinking that you can press through, and it's like, oh, Bar, you just experienced something. You need to sit down somewhere.
Process. Yeah,
Process.
and relax.
You need to process and
Yes.
relax. But I love the fact of you doing, like, getting the rest and then less labor. And also you increase your audience on social media.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like, stop. I was like,
I
in social media and go. No, I'm joking.
this
But when I saw you putting up different mixes and getting in tune with, just the love of music, especially when you do the different samples. Like,
mm-hmm.
I used to listen to a song, and then some family member or somebody else talking to me like, who originated this song? I'm like, no. And we would play games like back and forth to see. Now, like, Spotify, I guess, caught on to it. But the fact that you took those, or just different things that you would do was tough. Like, what has been some of your favorite social media reels to put together?
So my favorite social media reels put together. I like one of my favorites was when I did a week of different Disney mashups.
Oh, that was hard. That was hard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. That one. That one, because I remember that started off as just like a one-time thing, and then one of my best friends, Keith, in the comments challenged me to do another. He said, "Oh, that was dope. Try this song. Oh, I bet you can't do it again." I was like, "What? What you mean?" And ended up doing, for like one day, it just ended up doing like a week of just different Disney mashups. That I've been having an increased love for Afro beats.
Okay.
And so, like, doing like my Afro beats mashups and like putting people on like Afro beats music, and things like that have been like some of my favorite. Sample Sundays are always fun because even with those, I'm learning myself. It's hard. It's kind of hard for like to really pinpoint a favorite because they're all like, none of them are, honestly, quiet as kept. None of them are really pre-planned. I literally like wake up and say, "Oh, I have to record. Okay, what am I going to do?" And I think of it right there on the spot. Do some research, do some searching, and then boom, I spin it, record it, edit it, post it. So there's never really been like a never really been like a, okay, on this day I'm gonna do this mashup on this day, can I record this on this day? None of it has ever really been pre-planned. It's all really been like the day of. So I would say that's why it's been hard to really do a favorite, because they're all of them, like 98.89765% of them has been live and in the moment. And so they all each hold a special place. Like, I've thought of a mashup because my girlfriend would be in the bathroom like singing a song, and I said, that song would sound good to this. Oh, and then I would go in there and then record
it. Love it.
Yeah. So so it's pretty difficult, but those that I mentioned though are like definitely up there.
Thinking about your, sample Sundays and then doing the mashups, and also introducing Saturday service. And
Yes.
when you started that, I thought that was one of the dopest concepts, because it's Saturday and you're doing, motivational, like you're talking to where oftentimes people are not, maybe they're accustomed now not going to church in person, it's virtual, maybe Sunday they go, but just to have it on Saturday was really, really interesting. How did you come up with that?
So it originated, I I have conversations with myself a lot. And a lot of it, is whether me like talking through a situation, whether me like motivating myself. Like, I just had like a lot of honest conversation with myself. And more often than not, I was thinking to myself like, wow, this would be, dang, I wish somebody was here that I can actually talk about this with. Or like, dang, this would be a dope to, like, if I was on somebody's podcast, somebody's show, like, this would be a dope conversational piece. I wish I could record this. People need to I can actually share what I'm talking about with myself.
Mm-hmm.
And so that was the planted seed. And then it was literally just like one day, I don't know if I was in the shower or if I was about to go to bed, but I'm just like, I'm gonna record myself having a conversation with myself.
Okay.
And I'm gonna see what happens. And I'm gonna have the camera angle, and it's gonna be as if I'm like talking like on a podcast or a radio station, or as if I am actually talking to somebody. And so that's why like my earlier ones, it's like me at an angle, not looking at the camera, me like looking off.
Mm-hmm.
And so that next morning, that Saturday morning, I woke up around like 6, 7 a.m. Went to my studio, and I recorded myself just having a conversation. And then, yeah, that's how the first one, I believe, what was the first one? I think I was talking about, we got to keep, stop praying for stop praying for, imagine we would like stop praying for the same thing over and over because we're praying for the same thing. Like, do we not trust God that he didn't hear us the first time? Yeah. Like, notice that, like, we pray for the same thing over and over and over. And it's just like, if he's the God that you say you believe in, don't you think that you would only need to tell him once?
He got the message.
Yeah. So it's like you keep asking the same thing over and over. Does that mean that there's some doubt in your mind that either A, he's not hearing you, or B, you don't think he could do it? Or like, what is it? Like, if you pray for it, and two, you're already supposed, and two, like when you pray, you're supposed to pray as if it's already done.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah.
So so it's like, pray as if it's already done, and that's like a testament to your faith. And so, yeah, like pray for different things. Like pray for what you need to pray for, act as if it's already happened, and move on to the next.
I think people often forget that. I mean, I've fallen guilty of it, of praying. I'm like, okay, well, so God, you know what I talked about last week, right? So let me like emphasize it a little bit more. Like this is what I need. Okay, so God, I wrote it in the journal, and I'm still not seeing like like what are we doing? But what I realized though, there was I saw it on Pinterest, and I go through Pinterest a lot to look at different ideas. And this one idea was create like basically writing down your prayers and putting it in a mason jar. And so I started doing this back in like 2017, 2018. And so I would write out, I would do the date, the prayer, and then a year later, I would revisit what I prayed for. And I got to tell you, still to this day, there are prayers that have been answered in different forms. It might have been something that I thought was one thing, but that prayer was answered. And it's incredible to look back and see what I was praying for, who I was praying for, and then to see like, oh, this happened. This happened, and maybe it wasn't at the time in 2017, and it happened in 2020, but it happened. And so, I love seeing that. But it's one thing to do Saturday service and then go through your experiences and still come out the other end. I think that is the definition of okay, Ann. Because you've been through so many trials and tribulations. But I'm glad that you are on the road to recovery, being able to say that DJing has tied with your yearly salary of a job that what?
Yeah.
What world are we in? We're in the world of prayers that are being answered, and thinking about the first party that you did being a mansion party, getting that call, and then to look at everything that you've been able to accomplish and then some. It's an incredible journey, for real, for real.
Yes, thank you, and it is something that I have started to like come into like realizing more, because while I've been prioritizing rest, meditating, journaling, and just being like still, it's allowed me to be able to reflect and look back on everything that I have done and accomplished, versus always being on the go, trying to reach this end goal. And it's like I'm doing all this stuff, but not taking the time out to celebrate the small wins, to celebrate the little victories, to express gratitude for all the milestones that I've hit and how far I've come. And so just, sitting back and just chilling out, I've been able to realize like, wow, you are very, very accomplished. You're way more accomplished than you put on. Yeah. Yeah. So people like tell me, oh, you done this, you did that. I'd be like, what? Oh, I did, huh? Oh, thank you. Hey, wow. I'm dope.
Yeah, that is very, very true. Last question. If you had to give advice to folks that are on a journey of, corporate America, creativity, what advice would you give them?
Advice, tell them to, if creativity is your passion, if it's really, really what you want to do, pursue it. The corporate life will always be there. Just like how they say that as an employee you're expendable, your jobs are expendable. You can always get another job, like they can always get another employee. You are forever hireable. There's always a job for you. As far as your creativity, you only have so much time to really pursue that. So if you're already thinking about it, have your nest egg. If it's an emergency, if you're blessed and fortunate enough to have an emergency fund, stack that. I say anywhere from 5 to 10 grand, or at least 6 months of your living expenses. Take that leap of faith, and always remember, God is not going to let you fall on your face, and remain in constant prayer and meditation, because prayer is your opportunity to talk to God, and meditation is your opportunity to listen to God. So
That's beautiful. I love it. Another great episode, y'all. Thank you, DJ Dash, for being on OK. And until next time, y'all, take care. Bye.